Today we're discussing. Thank you for joining me today for discussing the top 10 books, video games based off of books. Scotland Yard Interactive. There's so many different Sherlock Holmes games, you guys. There's like 10,000 Sherlock Holmes games. There's so many. And Sherlock Holmes was a book. It started off as just being a book called Sherlock Holmes. And then there was more books like Sherlock Holmes 2 and 3, just like the Robert Downey Jr. movies are about. This is Curious George. Books like The Surprise Gift make this curious little monkey very, very iconic and famous. There's a famous little curious monkey named George. PlayStation games he has, PlayStation 2 games, where you enter the village, reach checkpoints, and climb around on vines like a curious little George would do. And some people want to send you back to the jungle, but that's not going to happen now, is it, George? So, the next one is based off of a book called that everyone knows as the Bible. Bible Adventures. There's a few different games about Bible. You can play Bible for a Game Boy. It says Game Boy Bible that you can read. So that's not really a game based off of Bible. These games are actually based off of the Bible, based off of the book. Stories about baby Moses, stories about Moses and the Ark, things like this. This next one is based off of books called Encyclopedias. This is Compton's Interactive Encyclopedia for the for whatever video game system that was. It's based off of this Compton's Pictured Encyclopedia books. Encyclopedias tell you just like all about everything. It's like Wikipedia before internet. Dr. Seuss has so many books. Dr. Seuss has all these books, and then there's so many video games based off of Dr. Seuss's books. Like Dr. Seuss's games and stories, and Green Eggs and Ham games, and of course there's like Cat in the Hat games. There's a bunch of Cat in the Hat games where you go to Cat in the Hat Land and do sort of different like little games, like smaller games. Like, and then there's Seuss World games. There's a bunch of Dr. Seuss games. There's so many There's like so many Dr. Seuss books and games. This next one's based off of Berenstain Bears. The Berenstain Bears Epic Dog Show and Berenstain Bears Kid Vid Talking Vid Video. Berenstain Bears Spooky Spelling Bee is another one. It's a tape cassette game that you put the tape cassette into, and like the game talks to you or something. I don't know, because I don't even know what tape cassette is. This is Wizard of Oz Beyond the Yellow Brick Road. Wizard of Oz, written by Frank Baum. Wizard of Oz Yellow Brick Road. It's not based off of the movie. It's based off of the book. This game for the Nintendo DS is an RPG. There's also other Wizard of Oz games for a computer, but this one's the best one. That's based off of that book, The Wizard of Oz. This next one is The Hobbit. It's based off of a book called The Hobbit. And this is before the movies. This is before the hit movie starring Orlando Bloom. This is the Hobbit video game that was just based off of the book. It's the prelude to The Lord of the Rings. That means before. There's a bunch of silly dwarves and stuff, and I don't know. This next one's based off of Tom Clancy's Red Storm Rising. It's called Red Storm Rising, and it's based off of Tom Clancy's game. It's a nuclear attack submarine game. Worst thing about this game is just because it's based off of a book, doesn't mean you have to have so many freaking words to read about in your book. I get that the book's probably 10,000 freaking pages long. Doesn't mean the game has to be. Look at all this text. How am I supposed to read all that? I'm not. How are you supposed to play this game and read all those words at the same time? That's just not gonna happen. That's why Top Number One game is the best. I Spy, because these games have very small words. It doesn't have a lot of words at all. It's mostly just pictures, and that's why it makes a fun game. Because who wants to be reading words when you're playing games? So this is best based off of book game. It's all the I Spy games that there are. Thank you for joining me, and go read a book. Just kidding.